Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. Friends, in this video we are going to discuss once again the story Cartooning by R.K. Laxman. The reason behind for the rediscussion is here. I got some complaint that in my previous video on the same topic there were some technical issues, so I thought to edit or to redo this video. So with this motive we are going to have a discussion once again on Cartooning R.K. Laxman. So there are few questions we should try to answer these questions. Number one, is someone born creative? No. Or somebody gets an opportunity to get creative? Yes. Can we control someone's creativity? We cannot. So if the creativity is found at the right time, the creativity can become a career. The creativity can make someone's career more fruitful. Keeping in mind the concept of creativity, the story Cartooning is written by R.K. Laxman. Before that, let's know about the great author Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Lakshman. You should know that who is Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Lakshman. R.K. Lakshman is the brother of R.K. Narayan. I think you know about R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan, who is famous for Malgudi days. So both the brothers are very famous in different arena. So Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Lakshman, R.K. Lakshman, who was born on 24th October 1921 and passed away on 26 January 2015, who was an Indian cartoonist, illustrator, and humorist. He is best known for his creation called The Common and for his daily cartoon strip called You Said It, especially in the Times of India, which started in 1951. He started his career as a part-time cartoonist, and he worked for many local newspapers and magazines. As a college student, he illustrated his brother R.K. Narayan's stories in the Hindu newspaper. Then his first full-time job as a political cartoonist was for the famous journal The Free Press in Mumbai. Afterwards, he joined the Times of India group, and there he became very famous for one important character called the Common Man, and that was a turning point to bring out R.K. Lakshman's creativity for his life, and that became the hallmark of R.K. Laxman. That's the reason that we remember even R.K. Laxman even today. So, what is this lesson? The lesson titled "Cartoon," or we can say the lesson titled "Cartoonist," is taken from R.K. Laxman's famous autobiography, "The Tunnel of Time," and it narrates the childhood experience of R.K. Laxman. It also highlights that how creativity has played an important role in the life of R.K. Laxman. So now let's begin the story. The chapter begins with the physical appearance of R.K. Laxman's teacher, and R.K. Laxman's teacher who used to go out to smoke and leave the class to the class monitor. His appearance was quite very classic stereotypes. He was lean and dark with overgrown hair from his upper lip. His front teeth were like rabbits. He used to wear a turban, a tight coat and dhoti. Smell of bidi could easily be observed anytime. So whenever the teacher wanted to smoke, the teacher used to leave the class in the custody of the class monitor. The class monitor used to narrate the same story about the crow, the princess, the crocodile, the monkey, the donkey, the court jester. So the whole class used to get bored because they already know those stories. Number of times they start to have gossips, discussion, shouting. So what monitor used to do? The monitor used to take down the notes, take down the names of all the students who used to talk, and when the teacher used to come back after smoke, the monitor used to hand over the list of those students, those who used to talk in the class. So as usual, the teacher wanted to go for smoke, and but this time instead of handing over the class to the class monitor, so every time what does he do? He always hands over the class to the class monitor, but this time he used some other technique. The teacher gives an interesting task to the class. What is the task? The task was to draw a leaf, any leaf. The teacher told, dear children, I'll come back. All of you should draw a leaf, any leaf, whichever you want. You can draw it. Once I come back, you have to describe. So it was very quite exciting, and all the boys started to imagine a leaf. One student draw a banana leaf that was too big that it went out of the wooden frame of the slate. Another boy asked the teacher if he could draw an elephant. So, in this manner, all the students were busy in drawing, and the teacher left the class. The teacher left the class. He gave a task that everybody should draw the leaf, any kind of leaf. So, as soon as the teacher returned from his usual task of smoke, he told students to stand in queue, and he began to critically examine their efforts one by one by murmuring comments. He used to give comments. Sometimes he used to give the marks on the slate. He used to say very nice, not good, etc., etc. He started to give the marks. Sometimes he twisted a boy's ear, brought the cane down on his leg of the another. So when now it is the turn of R.K. Laxman's turn, the writer's turn. It is the turn of the writer, the author's turn, and he started at the drawing for an alarmingly long time. For he took a long time, and he asked the author whether he has drawn it himself. So he has drawn it, and the teacher asked this boy that, have you drawn it? The writer got frightened. The boy, who is a writer, he got frightened, and he stepped back, expecting a shower of blows. He thought that, okay, this teacher is going to beat me. So he took one step back. Then he told the teacher fumblingly, right, not very clearly. He said, the teacher, because the teacher only asked him that, have you drawn it? Have you drawn this picture? But to his great surprise and joy, the teacher held his slate up before the class and announced. He said, hey, everybody, look at this slate here. How nicely Lakshman has drawn the leaf. So he appreciated R.K. Lakshman's R.K. Lakshman's creativity in front of everybody. And he then turned to the writer, to Lakshman, said that one day he will become an artist, and he told him to keep it up. So this is how the teacher appreciated him in front of everyone in the class. He gave him 10 marks out of 10, 10 out of 10. He was very impressed by the perfect shape of the people leaf. So what did he draw? R.K. Lakshman drew the people leaf and the details of the veins branching out along the midrib. Why? How was he able to draw it? Because Lakshman had already seen these leaves number of times strewn on the road under the people tree. So it was very easy for him to draw these leaf effortlessly. He need not put much effort, so it was very easy. It was very easy task for him. So the writer was very much inspired by such unexpected encouragement which was given by the writer's teacher. So now the author was inspired by the teacher's appreciation. R.K. Lakshman is very much inspired. Even he started to practice on the floors. Now, what he started to do, he started to practice on the floors, walls, doors of his house. Even he had sketched his father sitting in a chair and reading a newspaper like a Roman senator with a gray hair circling his bald head. It was sketched on the floor. His mother identified this caricature. She began to laugh, and she called her husband. She invited his father to have a look at it. His father became angry, and he ordered Lakshman to wipe it off immediately. But humorously, his mother insisted it should remain till others come home and saw it. So, this is how his mother encouraged him at home, though his father was very much angry to see all the caricatures on the floor. So what happened later, the writer disliked now. Now we are coming back to the class, his interest or his disinterest. The writer, Lakshman, he never liked the arithmetic class most in the school. He was very much weak in arithmetic. So it was very nightmare for him to have to distribute 15 mangoes equally among three people. He used to choose a seat at the back during this period. What the writer enjoyed most was he always used to enjoy listening to stories, poems. So he never he paid his unflagging attention to the text, meaning moral content of the lessons taught by the teacher. So he was more interested in listening to stories, poems, etc., rather than the arithmetic class, even though he could remember the historical references, names of mountains, oceans, rivers in geography, but he was not interested in the arithmetic class. So the writer liked to read prose which taught the moral values such as truthfulness, honesty, showing respect to elders, and so and so. He expressed through characters in folklore and mythology. So he was very much interested in such stories. One of the most powerful poems was about a cow called Punyakoti, who was who was accosted by a huge hungry tiger and demanded that she become his meal. Punyakoti promised to come back and offer herself as his dinner after suckling his hungry calf. The tiger allowed her to go, but to his utter surprise, she was true to her promise and she returned after some time. And the tiger was so much moved, so much impressed by Punyakoti's honesty that he cried bitterly and threw himself from the edge of the cliff. The other equally unforgettable poem known to all educated Kannadigas of that era was about a woodcutter. So one day, the woodcutter accidentally dropped his iron axe into a pond. The god wanted to test his honesty. Disguised as a fisherman, the god retrieved the axe from the bottom of the pool, gave it back to the woodcutter. But upon finding that the axe was made of gold, the man returned it, saying it was not his axe. The god again plunged into the pool and came up with another axe. This time it was made of silver, which is also refused by the woodcutter. Finally, the old iron axe was retrieved and offered to the old man, to the woodcutter, and the woodcutter accepted it with delight. God was very pleased with his honesty, so, revealing his divine identity, he blessed the woodcutter and rewarded him suitably. So, this is how R.K. Lakshman has a lot of interest for such kind of mythological poetry or mythological story. So, as usual, one day, Lakshman, the writer, was attending arithmetic class without paying attention. Students were told to copy down the problem from the blackboard and solve it. So it generally happens in the maths class. The teacher writes down the problem on the board, and the teacher says that, children, all of you copy it. So the same task was given to all the children. The whole class was busy in solving the problem, but it was not reachable to R.K. Lakshman because R.K. Lakshman never liked arithmetic. What he started to do, he was doodling and sketching figure in the margin of his exercise book. He was started to draw something. Suddenly, he felt a piercing pain in his left ear. He got some sort of pain in his left ear. The teacher, why? The teacher was twisting his ear and at the same time pulling him up by calling him rascal. He shouted. He asked, is he making fun of his class? He will make him answer for his this mischief. He has to answer. Why is he doing like this? When the writer asks, where have he made fun of him? He moans, doesn't answer, shouted, showing the exercise book on his face, pointing to a creature like a tiger cube he had drawn. He slept. What are you drawing this? Are you making fun of maths class? That the teacher slapped writer's cheeks and asked in a dangerous low tone, who is it he making fun of? Is it you or I? So somehow the crisis subsided after arguments on both the sides, with the teacher insisting it was his distorted image. Teacher was telling, are you drawing my image here? While the writer requested in tears that it was only a harmless doodle of a tiger cube. He said, I was just drawing the tiger cube here. It is not your image, sir. It was no doubt at a very unpleasant incident for the writer. It was a very unpleasant incident for R.K. Lakshman as a student. Though it was an unpleasant experience for R.K. Lakshman being beaten by the arithmetic teacher for drawing his caricature as a tiger cube. But many years later, he realized that the confrontation with the arithmetic teacher was indeed beneficial. It was a moment of discovery vital to his understanding of the art of caricature. Behind the mask of the teacher's public face, there was a person like a tiger cube could be found. There were other teachers whose looks could be associated with those of animals and birds. An active imagination, fueled by a keen sense of absurdity, could even see the human resemblance to inanimate objects such as old buildings, the shape of bottles in a drugstore, or to certain models of automobiles. This observation could certainly seem crazy to those with normal vision and thinking habits. And finally, a cartoonist born with a cock-eyed vision manipulates manipulates a face or a human situation and distorts it without losing the essence of humor. So dear friends, we have seen here how R.K. Lakshman's cartooning talent was emerged from classroom to real life. Creativity has no limitation. Someone should have the ability to observe the creativity and encourage to grow it, or someone really requires only one kick, only one kick to turn the imagination into creativity. So this is what we have seen about R.K. Lakshman in this excerpt of his autobiography. Undeniably, India's most famous cartoonist R.K. Lakshman's talent lays in playing with irony, packing a punch in a deceptively light tone. A great salute to this cartoonist who amused India for decades. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks once again. If you have liked this video, click on the like button. Write in the comment box. If you have any questions, any doubt, you can mail me on my email ID to my email ID mukeshenglish@gmail.com. If you are not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe. In the description box, you can find all the other important videos of your syllabus. Thank you once again.